Hey, it's Chuck Armstrong with Loudwire Nights, and this is Loudwire Nights On Demand. I cannot believe these words are coming out of my mouth. I feel like I've said that before. But Vince Neil hung out with us to celebrate brand new music from Motley Crue. We dove into the new song Dogs of War. We talked about the future of Motley Crue, all of it. This first aired on Friday, April 26th. Enjoy. Well, I am beyond excited to not just celebrate brand new music from Motley Crue tonight, but also be hanging with the one and only Vince Neil. Vince, thank you so much for being on the show, man.
All right, dude. Thanks for having me, man.
So listen, we got to get right into it. Dogs of War, the brand new song from Motley Crue, the band's first song since 2019's The Dirt. It is officially out. And so I have to ask, how are you feeling, man? I mean, how are you feeling to have this song wrapped up, ready for the whole world to hear?
I think it's great. You know, we did it. We recorded it a long time ago. Then we re-recorded it with John on guitar, and it's a cool song, man. It's you know, we can't be killed in the video. You know, we were zombies and everything. And I think people are gonna like the video. If they like the song, they'll like the video.
Yeah, I mean the video is wild, man. It's you know, it looks just as fresh or new as the song itself sounds. It seems like you guys cover a lot of new ground with this music video, man. How involved were you in the making of it?
I wasn't. I mean, I was involved in the singing of it. That was about it. You know, I recorded it here in Nashville and a little bit in London. And you know, when Bob Rock does a record, he puts it together. You know, you don't have to have everybody in the room. He just likes to recognize one thing. You know, like two things at a time, like bass and drums. You know, get those together first, and then starts adding leg to it, and it works out that way. It works out good for us, and it works out good for him as just producing.
No, well, let's talk about that, man. I mean, it was about a year ago exactly that it was announced that you were working with Bob Rock on new music. Here we are, hearing the product of that partnership. How did you guys end up working with Bob again? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, this was the first time since Dr. Feelgood 35 years ago, right?
Yeah. I don't remember if he did another album or not. I don't know. But
well, no, actually, no. I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. I know he produced The Dirt in 2019.
But he's a great guy. You know, he's creative. He's a creative guy. He's a musician. He knows what he wants, and he can get the best out of you as a musician yourself. You know, like as a singer, he knows what my limits are, what I can do, what I can't do. He tries to get the best out of me, the best that I can do. And that's what a producer's got to do. He's got to get the best out of you and lay it down, man. Absolutely, man. Well, listen, I'm curious, man, because there's no question from where you were back in '89 with Dr. Feelgood, where you are today. Everybody in the band's changed. You all have gone through different things, good and bad, highs and lows. You're different people, in 2024 and 2023. Was it weird or difficult reconnecting with Bob on this, or did it feel pretty natural? No, it felt really natural because he's always been a friend of ours, too. And we reached out to him, he lives in Hawaii and it's supposed to be nice there. And he's a good guy. He's a good friend too. When we asked him to do it, he didn't even think about it. He goes, let's do it. Well, I love that, man, because, yeah, you're right. A producer has to get the best out of you, but then when you add that friendship, too, I mean, it seems like a perfect partnership. Yeah. So in a lot of ways, I think this new song, Dogs of War, I think there's moments that sound like classic Crue, but also, I mean, it sounds brand new. I mean, it sounds like, you guys have been experimenting, pushing yourselves in different directions. Where did all of this come from, man? Well, I think a lot of it came from John Five. He's a new guy, in the band, but he's a very creative, crazy guitar player. He's amazing. And so I think a lot of it has to sound with his sound, the John Five sound. And we're really fortunate to have him in the band. Well, Vince, I got to say, it's pretty incredible for a band like Motley Crue to not just still be here, 4+ decades later, but to be creating new music, covering new ground, getting the rock world excited, pushing yourselves in new ways with a guy like John Five. This far into your career, it seems like you're still experiencing
new things, and that's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it does. Well, ever since The Dirt came out, we've had this generations of fans, that never saw Motley Crue, and at the stadium tour, there was the old guys that grew up with us, grew up on our music, and then you have their sons, and then their sons have their sons with them. So you have like an 7, 8-year-old up on top of Dad's shoulders with doing devil horns and singing along to the songs. And that's pretty crazy. It's like that young getting into rock and roll. And there's a lot of those.
Yeah. It's interesting as you think about a band celebrating an anniversary, like 40 years, or, this year is 43 years for Motley. Like it's easy to kind of step back and just think, all right, this band has existed from year 1 to year 43, and that's the fan base too. But like you said, I mean, in 43 years, you see generation after generation of new fans discovering and falling in love with Motley.
Yeah, it all kind of spiked from with the movie, because that brought a lot of fans to say, well, Motley Crue, I've heard of them, but I've never seen them. I wonder what the story is. They watched that. Our first, The Dirt is our first 10 years of being together. And, and we're an interesting bunch of guys, an interesting story to tell. And, 43 years later, we're still here doing it. So we're very fortunate.
Yeah. You guys are a bunch of interesting guys. That's one way to put it, man. I love that. Yeah. Well, with Dogs of War out now, man, with everybody just, so excited to hear new Motley, you guys have some major shows this year, including some of the biggest festivals in the country. When do you think we'll get our hands on the next full-length album? Well,
I don't think you're going to see a full-length album at any time. It's easier now just to do a few songs at a time and release them in the right ways. And the albums don't exist anymore. With the MTV generation, you go to a record store and you find your favorite songs and your album, and you buy the album, and you watch it on MTV, and where you can see your favorite bands. Now it's just there's a billion ways, streaming services and all those things. But it's just geez, I don't know.
Is that weird for you? Like, as a guy who's been part of some iconic records, like Theater of Pain and Shout at the Devil and Dr. Feelgood, on and on. Like, is it weird for you to kind of to say that, like, albums just don't matter today the same way they used to?
Yeah, it just seems like a lot of work, to put 10 songs together on an album when they all won't be heard by anybody. At least when somebody buys the album, they're going to listen to it. They're going to listen to those songs. Now we just write the songs to be listened, to be heard. And that's what Dogs of War was. Is a song to be heard, and we're really proud of it.
So is Dogs of War pointing to more singles, or more individual songs coming?
Yeah, I'd say more individual songs. Yeah, we got one in the can right now, and we don't know when we'll put it out, but it might be the end of the year, it might be early 25. But you'll definitely hear some new music from Motley in the future.
Awesome, man. And as we look to the future, we've talked about the 43 years of the band's existence. This year marks Dr. Feelgood turning 35 years old. Are you the type of guy who enjoys taking a step back when you can and reflecting on things like that, on milestones like that?
Not really. I mean, I hear it and I'm like, wow, that's a long time, and you start to feel a little old because you go, it seems like yesterday when we recorded that record, it really does. And, we had a lot of, it was just fun recording that record. It was one of the funnest we've had. And we did it when we were all sober. We had Steven Tyler sing on it. We had, Bryan Adams sing on it. Robin Zander from Cheap Trick, Jack Blades from Night Ranger. We all had fun. They all show up in the studio. We say, hey, they want to sing on the track. Yeah, okay. And those are fun days. But yeah, those days are kind of over now. But now we just go in there, do a song or two, and be in the studio for a week, not a year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so as you say that, you know, and as you think about that, the fun times of making an album like Dr. Feelgood and just, you know, all that this band has done and accomplished over 40 plus years, you know, what keeps you excited, man? Like what keeps you moving forward and looking ahead?
Well, I love touring. You know, I love it. I love being on stage and playing with these guys. It's a lot of fun. And so I'm looking forward to going on tour in 2 weeks and give it to more people.
And Dogs of War, I imagine, will be part of the live set list.
Oh, absolutely. So we'll be playing it for the people.
That's so exciting, man. Because I mean, it is just this. It's a fun and it's a heavy and it's an intense song, man. The music video takes it to a whole new level, and then to see all that come together on the stage, it's gonna be quite the experience for fans, man.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be fun.
So you've got a ton of dates scheduled this year, including some of the biggest festivals. Like I said, are you know, at this point in your career, when you hit a festival like that's got dozens of other bands, you know, are you the type of guy who likes to hang around or catch other bands from the side stage, or are you kind of just chilling and you got to do what you got to do?
Well, if they're like friends of mine, like Alice Cooper, I go watch him like every day. You know, or you know, Def Leppard, I go stand on the side and watch them too. But yeah, sometimes it's fun. Sometimes, you know, there's too many bands, and I just want to get dressed and get out there. And but if there's somebody that I want to see, I haven't seen in a long time, I go out there and watch them.
I love that, man. So as you kind of, you know, think about the future of this band, and you know, admitting that albums aren't the same thing today as they used to be, but as touring keeps you excited and keeps you moving forward, I mean, is that just something that's on the horizon for Crue? Like until you're unable to hit the road, you guys will always be playing live shows? Yeah,
I think so. We have plans right now until 26, so we'll at least be out on the road till 26 in some way or one way or another. But you know, after that, you never know. You put together plans, and sometimes they happen, sometimes they don't. But hopefully, we'll be out there and still bringing it.
Well, and then 2026, man, that's the 45th anniversary for Motley. So you know, we'll be having another conversation about that milestone.
Yeah, exactly.
It never ends, man. I mean, when you've got a body of work like this, Vince, when you've done all that you've done, I mean, it seems like every year there's some type of milestone, some type of anniversary that you got to celebrate.
Yeah, exactly. Too many anniversaries.
Well, Vince Neil, we're not getting lost in nostalgia, man. We're looking ahead and we're celebrating this brand new song, Dogs of War. Congrats on the release of it. Congrats on the video. We've got everything, details, the song, the video, everything at loudwire.com and on the Loudwire app. But man, I can't wait to see and hear all that's to come this year and beyond. And hopefully we can have you back on the show soon enough.
All right. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man.
That wraps up this episode of Loudwire Nights on Demand. Stay caught up with everything happening in the world of rock and metal on the Loudwire app and at loudwire.com.